Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Turn It Up. Tell you briefly what Turn It Up's about. Turn It Up is about turning up music, turning up your life, turning up whatever you want to turn up. Some beer, you want to turn up, whatever you want to turn up, just turn it up. I'm going to talk about several different things on here. I'm going to try. None of this is professionally set up, so if that's what you're looking for, wrong place. Uh, what I do have to offer is my opinions. Whether that matters to anybody or not, who knows? But I'm going to tell you a lot about what's made me fall in love with music. A little bit about me. I play instruments in a band. I play drums. I play bass. I play electric guitar. All of that's come from my love of music, and what I'm going to share is some of the things that made me fall in love with the music and kind of pick my direction. And the one I'm going to start out with today is very special to me. It's what got me in, let's say, to a heavier realm. I wouldn't say super heavy by any imagination. But without further ado, let's give it up for the album that we're going to talk about today, and it's none other than Somewhere in Time, Iron Maiden. Yes. Interesting fact about this album, it wasn't the music that brought me into the album. Like most of the stuff I've heard and then I ran out and got the album, but that's not the case for this. Or my introduction to Iron Maiden, because like I said, this was my introduction to Iron Maiden. And it was the artwork. It was that. I seen it in a magazine. I think it might have been Hit Parader at the time. Not sure. I can't remember. But I seen it, ran out, had to have that album. So without a little bit saying any more, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start with track one of this album, and that would be Cotton. So right from the beginning, Maiden does it on every album. They just are fishermen to the ears. They throw out their line and reel you right in right from the beginning. That I can remember listening to that and just that little bit of an intro before they come in with the gallop. I was like, "What is this? How do you play like this?" And I remember sitting down with my bass and going, how is he getting that sound? And Steve Harris is the master of it. I mean, there's no doubt about it that gallop, what Maiden's known for, the pings off the ride cymbal, all that stuff that's just fantastic stuff. To me, is what set me into it. But then once you hear Bruce come in with these vocal lines, come with me, we devil may care, fulfill a dream. If I say I take you there, would you go? Would you be scared? Time is always on my side. Time is always on my side. Don't be afraid, you stay with me. Almost has a rap like quality to his lines when he delivers the lines. It's it has that phrasing of like a rap. Da 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 da. You know, at the time I just remember like this is awesome. I was like, if I don't get anything else than Somewhere in Time off this album, then I've gotten my money's worth. Um, just a great classic Maiden song, Caught Somewhere in Time. And that Somewhere in Time for me was a really good time. Uh, Next, we're going to move on to Wasted Years. And to me, if I had to pick a perfect song, Wasted Years was it for me. I mean, if you ask me for one song, I'm probably taking Wasted Years. From the intro to everything on this song is just perfect. We'll give her a little listen. What needs to be said about that? I mean, what needs to be said about that? Well, I guess I'm going to tell you what needs to be said about it. It's awesome, is what it is. Uh, Great intro, the twin guitars, the Smith's opening lick, that just wonderful. Steve's bass, Bruce's vocals coming in on it. The chorus, huge chorus. Once again, the perfect album to start with on Iron Maiden because there's so much great music on this. And like I said, Wasted Years, it's a timeless track. It's people are going to get mad when I say this, but it's definitely a top 10 Iron Maiden song out of all their albums and everything. Wasted Years is just a great, great song. Now we're going to move on to Sea of Madness. Take a little listen to the intro of Sea of Madness. So just talk about that a little bit. Sea of Madness starts out with classic, great Maiden intros. That there's not a bad Maiden song. There's some that I don't have as fondness for as some of the others, but they always, musicianship wise, just nail it for me, right? Every time. They ride that line of hard rock, heavy metal, progression music better than anybody. They don't bore you with how technical they can be. They keep it driven. They pump you the whole time. And Sea of Madness is just a classic one as far as really showing you their progression. They go in and out of tempos. They go in and out of keys changes. delivery on the vocals change on it. Sea of Madness, just another great track. So we're 3 tracks in and not a bum song on it yet. You're just going right at it. The first 3 right out the gate, all of a sudden Maiden's got you. They're like your band now. Maiden and you are tight. So we're just going to move on to Heaven Can't Wait. And Heaven Can't Wait is another great Maiden song that's really underrated. Give it a listen. I mean, I could talk about it all day long, but listening to it does it so much more. Great intro, once again showing you how progressive Maiden can be, which I didn't know at the time wasn't. This album brought me into Maiden, so I was kind of expecting every album to be like this, and they're not. This album's a different type for me, anyways. A lot more progression in this album. As far as their music goes, don't get me wrong, there's not a bad Maiden album. It's some of the first albums may be my favorite Iron Maiden album now, but this one really, I felt like they really set out to show how great they were as a band, what all they could do. They covered lots more ground than they did on previous albums. Bruce's vocals, man, just like his delivery, his timing on Iron Maiden songs is to me what makes Bruce great in it. Don't get me wrong, Bruce can sing way up there, high registers and great voice, but his phrasing that he puts in there, and like he goes along with the chord changes and the bounces of the songs, the riffs, he'll filter his phrase around that, and it's brilliant. And on Heaven Can't Wait, that's a shining example of how they are a unit, why Maiden is still one of the most popular bands out there. We're going on to The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. What a title. Bass in there and listen to that. Down on the track with the wind and the rain that's beating down on your back. Your heart's beating loud and yours are getting louder and yours don't even know no sound. It's ringing in your head. they do it to you all the time. This is what Maiden does. They lower you along, they set you up nice and peaceful, and then they drop the bottom out of it and just full on explode into a song. And there's nobody in the business better than these guys are at it. And the loneliness of the long distance runner. When I read that title on that album, I was like, what is? Then you hear the song and you hear the story in the song. And I'm not going to give all this away because I want y'all to experience this without my opinion being in your head. But you need to listen to this song and listen to the words of the song, and it's just going to blow you away. Next, another one of my favorite Maiden songs. Stranger in a Strange Land. Let's give it a listen. Bass line opening. Just another great song, and it has like a laid back swagger to it that the other Maiden songs on this album don't have. It's kind of like, here, you want to catch your breath for a second because we've been bombarding you since the opening track. We're going to lay this one back a little bit, but it's still got a heavy groove into it. The bass line and the drums starting it out. Just great music, man, and it's really one of those tracks that are lost when people think of Maiden. Stranger in a Strange Land is probably not one of the songs that they tell you about, but it's got a different groove and a different feel for me than any of the other Maiden stuff that I've heard. And like I said, listening to that for the first time as a young man, I was just digging it. I'm still digging it, still to this day. Another thing I want to talk about on this song, you've got to listen to the guitars go through, because these two guys never get credit when people name out favorite guitar players and stuff like that. Is Murray and Smith, to me, are just two brilliant guitar players that must have zero ego because they play off of each other perfectly. They never overstep each other. They're never in each other's way. If one's doing a riff, the other one's playing a line. When they play twin leads together, to me, just a great tandem that's highly underrated, criminally underrated, of how good they are. And I've never understood why people overlook them, but brilliant. Two brilliant guitar players. Nico's known around the world as a great drummer. Bruce is known as a great vocalist, and Steve Harris is probably like the king of bass. But the two guitar players, they don't get the credit that the rest of the band gets, and it's a shame. It's really a shame. I'm going to move on to the next song, and the next song's called Deja Vu. turn this down. I'm gonna let it play in the background for a little bit while I'm talking about this song. The, it's by no way a filler song because this album doesn't have filler songs. But Deja Vu is totally different than the rest of the songs on this album, and it took me a while to get into that song. I kept showing how old I am. I kept picking the needle up and going to the next song, and I'd play a little bit of it. But over the years, it's become one that I really enjoy a lot, and a lot of times I'll play this song. And it's not one that makes me just sing along to it like the other Iron Maiden songs, and I can't name the reason why, but it has grown on me, and it's just a soothing song. It's just a really well put together, great musical song. Once again, it's just the talent of the band. It's there, and Deja Vu has that written all over it. Finally, the last track on the album, Alexander the Great. So let's go into Alexander the Great.
My son, ask for thyself another kingdom, for that which I leave is too small for thee.
A lot of people aren't big on the long intros. I'm a sucker for them. So, Alexander the Great starting out with the narrator saying this. And once again, if you're not familiar with Iron Maiden, they're going to give you a history lesson on every album. You're going to get it. And Alexander the Great is, of course, about Alexander the Great. Just really great moody music. And don't get me wrong, at the time, as a young man, I may have been partaking of some substances, but this was just, Alexander the Great was one you put on and you were like, this is really cool. And it's still just really cool. Alexander the Great is really popular with a lot of the Maiden fans, and rightly so. To me, it's just a way to end a great album, and that's what they did. They ended a great album. So, let me say less. Just play you this.
His name was Alexander. At the age of 19, he became the Muslim king. And he swore to free all of nation minor. By the 18th sea, in 334 BC, he utterly beat the armies of Persia. Alexander the Great, his name's revealed to hearts.
So that sums it up. That's the album right there. It's only 8 tracks, 51 minutes of unadulterated galloping, cymbal pinging, twin guitar playing, vocal screaming, everything that you could want in one album, along with the coolest artwork ever. Once again, let me prop up that artwork. All tied up into one album to bring you the crown of all crowns somewhere in time. If you don't have this album in your collection, and I don't care if you don't listen to metal, and metal ain't your thing, it doesn't have to be your thing. It's great music, guys. It's great music. Put it on, throw away your prejudices of music, and look, I'm not just a metal guy. I'm not just a rock guy. I listen to country. I listen to rap. I'll talk about all the albums that have influenced me. I'm just trying to help some people out who may not know about this. If you're not familiar with an Iron Maiden and who they are as a band, then I'm not going to tell anybody about it. But get this album. Start here. Listen to it. Great album. Just brilliant. That's about all I'm going to have for you on this episode of Turn It Up. I look forward to doing another video. This wasn't bad. It was kind of fun. Who knows, maybe next time I'll be a little better and it won't be so painful for you. You won't have to go, oh no, he's put out another episode. No need in all that. Y'all have a good night. Turn it up.